Hi, I'm Mark Green with the Oklahoman in Washington. Let's talk about talking points. They're real big in this town. Lots of people here have trouble making sense without them. I'm talking about the anecdotes, phrases, and factoids used by politicians and their spokespeople when they talk to the country about important issues through the media. It's the way campaign organizations and political parties make sure folks stay on message when they get in front of a camera or speak with a print reporter. All too often, talking points become a crutch, a prop, turning the political debate into a battle of preconceived missives and missiles that often leave the two sides talking past each other. For regular Americans, it's got to be frustrating to hear Republicans and Democrats respond to questions as if they're on script, which they really are. Here's an example. The other day, Pennsylvania Democratic Senator Bob Casey was on one of the cable networks talking about the war in Iraq. A couple of times, Casey said American troops shouldn't be stuck in the middle of a civil war, a talking point from at least a year ago that doesn't account for the military success of last year's U.S. troop surge. Few experts would argue that today, American soldiers are caught in a crossfire between various Iraqi factions, but that didn't stop Casey from wringing his hands about an Iraq civil war just the same. Another example. Republican presidential candidate John McCain was questioned about how he could balance the federal budget as promised while also continuing to cut taxes. McCain grinned and wobbled through an explanation that mentioned more tax cuts without detailing how you can improve the bottom line with less tax revenue. Clearly, the talking point objective was to mention tax cuts no matter what the question. I just point out these things because the long-range forecast is for a blizzard of political rhetoric, increasing in intensity as November approaches. There will be lots of talkers, the presidential candidates, their wives, the vice presidential candidates and their wives, and legions of surrogate speakers. Talking points will fill the airwaves like bees swarming from a hive, the verbal ammunition for the great rhetorical conflict across this land of ours. The challenge for Americans is to filter out the real meaning of the anecdotes, phrases, and factoids they're barraged with. A little skepticism will go a long way.
Let's see it.